She secretly rented out the apartment I helped her get. About 6 months ago, my friend Rachel was going through a really rough time financially. Her lease was ending, she barely had any savings, and she couldn't find an apartment she could afford. I spent a few weekends helping her look. Eventually, I found a small place that was perfect for her. The landlord was hesitant because of her credit history, so I agreed to co-sign the lease. I also paid the security deposit because Rachel promised she'd pay me back over the next few months. She moved in, and everything seemed fine. Then about 3 weeks later, Rachel called me saying she'd gotten a job in another state and needed to leave immediately. She said she couldn't afford to break the lease and asked me to help her figure out what to do. I told her I'd help however I could. The next day, I went to the apartment to pick up some paperwork she'd left behind. That's when I realized someone else was living there. There were clothes in the bedroom, food in the fridge, and personal stuff everywhere. I called Rachel and asked what was going on. She casually told me she'd rented the apartment to another woman for cash. I reminded her that subletting wasn't allowed under the lease. She said, "I know, but I needed the money." Then she asked me to give the woman the spare key because she'd apparently lost hers. I said no. Rachel completely lost it. She said I was making her life harder and that after everything I'd done for her, I should be helping her. I reminded her that I was a co-signer, so if something went wrong, I could be financially responsible too. She said I was being dramatic and that the woman was harmless. So I called the landlord. He had no idea Rachel had moved out or that someone else was living there. The landlord came over, confirmed that Rachel had violated the lease, and told the woman she couldn't stay there. Rachel was furious when she found out. She called me screaming that I had ruined everything and that she was now going to lose money because of me. Then she said, "You were the one who helped me get this apartment. You should be helping me fix this." I just said, "I am helping you. I'm making sure your problem doesn't become mine." She hung up on me, but that wasn't the end of it. The next day, Rachel called again and said the landlord was asking her to pay for the lock change and the costs from the unauthorized tenant. She told me I needed to cover half because I was the co-signer. I actually laughed because she was still acting like this was somehow my responsibility. Then the landlord emailed me to confirm that the locks had been changed and that I was no longer allowed to give anyone access to the apartment without his approval. I forwarded that email to Rachel. She immediately replied, "So what am I supposed to do now?" I said, "I don't know. You're the one who rented it out." Then I blocked her.